Okay, hi everyone. My name is Denchai Prabjandee, and now I'm a teacher educator at Faculty of Education, Burapha University, Thailand. Today, I'm going to present my journey in supporting Thai teachers to implement global English as language teaching during the COVID-19 pandemic. The objective of this presentation is to share how to support teachers to implement GLT. And in so doing, I'm going to discuss the first professional development that I provided for teachers in Thailand to help them understand GLT. After that, I'm going to talk about a series of professional development that I have been doing, and after that, I will focus on teacher professional development during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm going to share some of the findings about what teachers think of the GLT proposal. Finally, I will conclude my presentation with lesson learned from providing teacher professional development for GLT. So let's get started. First, before I start talking about professional development, I'd like to share a little bit about my journey to GLT. So I was first exposed to the concepts of world Englishes in the Master of Education program. At that time, after I learned the concepts of world Englishes, I really appreciated about English diversities, but I don't know what to do with it. So I appreciate it, but I don't know what to do with it. And in 2010, I went to the United States to learn to become a teacher educator in a bilingual, multicultural, and ESL education program. Over there, I had opportunities to observe linguistically and socioculturally diverse learners. And at that time, I learned, about English users, definition of English users. 4 years later, I went back to Thailand to come back to Burapha University, and I was assigned to teach at the Master of Education in teaching English as a global language. At that time, I have no idea what it is by teaching English as a global language. That's why I started to study the concepts of global English by myself by reading influential authors such as Jennifer Jenkins, Nicola Galloway, and Heath Rose. So these three books are like my Bibles, that I carry away with me all the time. And since then, since 2015, I really like the concept, and I see that opportunities to really disseminate the concepts to other teachers. So after studying the concept for about approximately 3 years, it was in 2018 that I started to offer teacher professional development for GLT. At that time, Thailand organized the Teacher Professional Development Coupon project by the Teacher Council of Thailand. So basically, this project, open for university lecturers or private sectors to submit their proposal for teacher professional development. And the teachers in Thailand have opportunities to kind of shop the professional development that they see they want to learn. And I proposed the global Englishes, for language teaching as professional development that I wanted to help teachers. At that time, I see GLT as a necessity. I think that, GLT should be introduced to teachers. That's why I proposed the proposal. And during this professional development, I started to formulate principles for introducing global Englishes to teachers. As a teacher myself, if I want them to learn about new concepts, it's not only about telling them what it is. I need to create some kind of experiential learning so that they learn new concepts. Telling them that this is important, telling them explicitly may not be enough. So I formulated, principles of global Englishes for implementing global Englishes in the classrooms. I studied transformative learning by Peter Jarvis. It's about adult learning theory. I use this theory of transformative learning to design the professional development. In this theory, Jarvis explained that adults often, takes the life for granted. So they forget, they often accumulated their experience. They have accumulated their experience well enough so that, they forget or they take for granted that there is something new for them to learn. If I want them to learn something new, I have to present some kind of experience that create disjuncture or a sense of unknown to them. I need to shock them with a new experience. And then I need to prompt them to give meaning, to resolve that disjuncture. Adult learners may find that these are things that they don't know. And then what do they need to do in order to change their perspective or to know something? And after they practice these solutions, several times, this become in their kind of behaviors change, and it can transform them as a person or as a professional. And then they will continue to take the life for granted again. Based on this theory, I created 5 activities. And the 5 activities are examples of, global English language learning activities that I introduced to the teachers. So I created these 5 principles, and I also, in each principle, I give example of one activity for each principle. The first principle is that I want the teachers to revisit the ownership of English. And the second one, I want to raise the awareness about the target interlocutors, that their students will communicate with, diverse English users. It's not about native speakers anymore, okay? And then I challenge the native speaker norm that they may have formed throughout their lifetime as a teacher. And I want them to, kind of understand by introducing a variety of Englishes in the classrooms. And I want them to treat diverse Englishes with respect. And if you're interested in seeing examples of, activities that I did with the teachers, you can look at this paper, that I published in Asian Englishes. In this paper, I decided 5 activities based on these principles. And then I analyze how the teachers react to the disjuncture that I created. Now it was found that the teacher created, disjuncture. And now based on this paper, I have the 5 activities that I can use to educate teachers about global English language teaching. After the success of creating the activities, now I see this opportunity to disseminate, knowledge to other teachers. I wanted to extend the 5 activities. I wanted to implement these activities with other teachers. So I applied for a research grant at Burapha University. And it was in 2020 that I received the grant. And at that time, it was during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I had opportunities to reach out to teachers from, different parts of Thailand. So these teachers are not only from the one that I get close to my university, but these teachers come from different parts of Thailand. Some of them come from the north part, some of them come from the northeastern part, some of them come from, central Bangkok. Because of COVID-19, we had a chance to, learn something online. And for me, I shift my perspective from seeing GLT as a necessity to see GLT as my mission. It is the reason that I wake up every morning and go to work. So in this study, what I did was I also designed an 18 hours workshop. And now I, develop more kind of content for professional development. These are the content that I included in the professional development. There are 18 hours altogether. The first 6 hours are about global English as language teaching, what, why, and how. And I use the 5 activities that I designed in 2020 to educate teachers about the what, the why, and the how. And after that, I introduce them to the role of English to different parts of the world by having them engage in reading research articles in ELF in Europe, English in Asia, and English in Thailand. So by seeing the role of English in different parts of the world, we'll help them see the diverse use of English. And the last section is called Pedagogical Implications of Global Englishes. And I presented to them the approaches and principles to implement global English as language teaching. So these professional development, I also did research by using a mixed method approach. So I designed I focus on fostering their instructional competence to implement global English as language teaching. And I measure instructional competence, before and after. And I also use reflection and also interview with, some teachers. And for this research, I conceptualized instructional competence into 3 aspects. The first one is knowledge. The second one is attitudes toward GLT. And the last one is perceived skills in implementing, global English language teaching. So after doing the pre and post mixed method design, I found that teacher, increase their knowledge, significantly, and also their attitudes are, slightly changed, and also their perceived skills are ambivalent after implementing this. What I learned is that I'm curious whether these are only 18 hours of professional development. Now, I wanted to know whether if I offer a more longitudinal research, what will it change teachers, knowledge, attitudes, or perceived skills or not? And fortunately, I received the grant from, PTT, a company, in Thailand that sponsor, Kamnert Vitaya Science Academy. And then I partner with Kamnert Vitaya Science Academy in conducting a longitudinal study. So PTT is, it's a sponsor for schools throughout Thailand. So every year they would, provide professional development for their teachers. Now, when they connected to me, I see this opportunity to, engage in a more longitudinal study of teacher learning to implement global English as language teaching. So I proposed to them a 3 years professional development project. Now, the first year, I call the first year apprenticeships, year, where all the teachers will, learn about GLT. And I extend, to the second year by focusing on, the first year teachers. And now next year, I am planning to conduct, an insider perspective from professional development. By following up with teachers in these 3 years, I hope to analyze how they develop, conceptual understanding of global Englishes, and also how their instructional competence, change over time. I finished the first 2 years already. Now I'm waiting for the third year to collect more data on that. Now, in the first year, since the teachers under sponsored by PTT, they are from diverse teaching backgrounds. Some of them are from primary school level. Some of them are from secondary school level. So what I did in year 1 is that in the first session, right, I introduced to the concept, GLT, what, why, and how, by using the professional development that I also designed already. And after that, I design, GLT for primary school students. And I only involve teachers from primary school students. After they were educated about GLT, I asked them to design kind of a lesson plan that incorporate the 5 principles that I developed, in my research. I want them to design or implement, global English as language teaching by integrating the concept into their communication classrooms. So together they design lesson plans, one for each, and then I combine, these lesson plans as their supplementary materials that they can use in their, at their school. And later on, I moved to GLT for secondary school students. And I also introduced the concepts of, GLT. And I give them 1 week, to do GLT activities by writing lesson plans. And after that, they come back to present. And then, they will come back again to share their perspective. And after that, after I compile this list of lesson plans, I give them to I give them a month to implement it and then come back again to wrap up meeting. So this was the first year. The second year also, I mainly focus on ownership of English and world Englishes, and course design, activity and assessment. And I also went to observe teachers whether they implemented GLT in the classroom or not. Next year, I'm going to do more research on this. And these are the atmosphere that we did during COVID-19 pandemic. And there are a lot of teachers. There are almost 90 teachers participating in this project. At Burapha Faculty of Education, we also conducted EduShare, which is we offer professional development for teachers. And I also talked to them about the global English as language teaching. And at the end of the workshop, I sent a mini survey asking them whether have they heard the term of global Englishes before attending the workshop. And you can see that the majority of them, they haven't heard about that. But 20%, have heard the term global Englishes before. This is very hopeful for me that at least teachers started to, hear the term global Englishes. And then I asked whether after the workshop, they think they will implement global Englishes in their class. And you can see that the majority of them agree with this statement. They will implement, global Englishes in the classrooms. And the last question, I asked them whether they see global Englishes as abstract rather than practical. As you can see that, these are very diverse in terms of opinions on that. Based on these kind of mini study about the teacher think of global Englishes proposal, what I learned here is that there's still room for more research. There's still room for me to work with teachers in order to help them understand the concepts of global English as language teaching. Even though I have reached to at least 1,050 teachers nationwide during the COVID-19 pandemic, but still I need more time to really educate them, because I see that paradigm shift may start with teachers. So that's the end of my presentation. If you want to learn more or collaborate with me on supporting teachers to implement global English language teaching, you're welcome to contact me via email. Thank you very much.